Before you start your first project, you're going to want to pick out a yarn that you like. It would probably be best to start with a light colored yarn, that way you can really see what you're doing. Starting with like black or dark gray is probably not the best idea. The stitches can be kind of hard to see, and when you're first learning how to crochet, you really need to be able to see what you're doing. For the purpose of teaching you guys the very basics, I'll be using Big Twist Value yarn, which is acrylic. It is a medium weight, or a 4 weight. It calls for a 5mm hook. It tells you right here next to the weight, it tells you what hook size you need if you're crocheting, what hook size you need if you're knitting, and what hook size you need if you're crocheting. If anybody asks, this is the color Rust. I would recommend starting with whatever the recommended hook size is on the yarn that you pick out. It could be 5 or 6mm, could be smaller, it could be bigger. Just go with whatever it says. This one calls for a 5mm, so I'll be using a 5mm hook. Most hooks will tell you the size on them next to a letter. The 5mm is an H hook. It says right there, and right next to it, it says 5mm. Once you know more about yourself and how you crochet and how your tension is, which is how tightly you hold the yarn, thus how tight your stitches are, you can go up or down a hook size. I know that I tend to have quite loose tension, so I can go down a hook size without really hurting anything. If I were to go up a hook size or two, my work would be quite loose and have a lot of holes and gaps in it. I also want to mention, before you start a project, you should know about how big of a project that you're trying to make. If you're going to make a sweater, a blanket, things like that, you need to become familiar with what is called a dye lot. So on this yarn, on the label, it tells you the style, the color, and it'll say lot number right there. If you do not buy enough of the same dye lot, there is a chance that if you go to buy more yarn, the lot will be different, meaning the color will be slightly different. And in bigger projects, or really in any project, it will be quite noticeable if you suddenly start using yarn that is dyed slightly differently. So make sure you have enough for whatever you're about to start. I am notoriously terrible at this and have been for years. So what I do is buy too much, and I'll say it's too much, so that I definitely have enough, and then keep the receipt, return whatever I don't use as long as it's unopened. And even if you lose the receipt, most places will give you store credit, so you can go buy a different yarn or whatever else you need from that particular store.